In life, it's easy to get distracted. We all have big goals and dreams, but along the way, we often get caught up in other people's opinions, social media, and everything that pulls us away from what really matters. The truth is, the key to success isn't in trying to please everyone or chasing every new, shiny opportunity. It's in focusing on yourself and committing to your own growth. That's what this journey is about. Focusing on you and not letting anything or anyone distract you from the path you've chosen. It's about taking control of your life, making decisions that align with your goals, and pushing through the tough times that challenge your resilience. In this script, we're going to dive deep into how you can cut out distractions, build habits that support your growth, and hold yourself accountable to the things that matter most. I'll show you exactly how to stay focused on what you need to do every single day, how to develop the strength to push through discomfort, and how to make progress even when things get tough. This isn't just about a quick fix. It's about adopting a mindset that drives you to succeed day after day. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't give up when things get hard, but instead uses those challenges as stepping stones to get stronger and move forward. You'll learn practical advice and tips on how to stay disciplined, how to keep learning, and how to stay committed to the goals that will change your life. If you've ever felt like you're not reaching your potential, or like you're constantly battling distractions and setbacks, this is the video for you. By the end of this, you'll have a clear roadmap for focusing on yourself, your growth, your mindset, your success, and most importantly, you'll understand why focusing on you is the best decision you can make. Stick around, because I'm about to show you how to start winning. Not tomorrow, but today. Your journey to focus and success starts right now. Chapter 1. Take ownership of your life and stop making excuses. You don't get stronger by hoping for a better life. You get stronger by facing what's in front of you and choosing not to back down. Taking ownership of your life is the first and most important step. Nothing else works if you don't take full control. You can read every book, listen to every podcast, repeat every affirmation, and still stay stuck if you keep giving your power away. You weren't born to live in excuses. You were born to take control of your direction. Most people don't realize how much of their life they've handed over to excuses. They don't see how many of their failures weren't failures. They were avoidances, procrastinations, justifications, emotional reactions, and misplaced blame. You can't build a strong life with weak habits. You can't build self-respect by constantly pointing fingers. The moment you start saying things like, "I can't because of them," or "I would if only things were different," or "I never had the chance," you're not just making an excuse. You're reinforcing weakness. You're training your mind to believe you're not responsible. And if you're not responsible, then you're not in control. If you're not in control, you won't grow. And if you won't grow, you won't win. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving forward. So, if you want to change, the first thing you must do is stand in front of the mirror. Not to admire yourself, not to criticize yourself, but to face yourself. Every decision you've made, every choice you didn't make, every time you gave up, every time you stayed silent when you should have spoken, every time you chose comfort over growth, it starts there. Not with guilt, not with shame, but with honesty. And honesty hurts because it's easier to blame the system. It's easier to blame your childhood. It's easier to blame people who wronged you. And maybe they did. Maybe you were dealt a tough hand. Maybe life hasn't been fair. But that doesn't give you permission to quit on yourself. You can either stay angry about what happened or get serious about what happens next. You don't get to control everything, but you do control your response. You control your attitude. You control what you do every single day. That's where power comes from. Power isn't loud. Power isn't shouting. Power is waking up and showing up even when no one sees you. It's doing the right thing when it's hard. It's choosing not to be a victim even when you feel like one. It's saying, I don't care what happened. I'm going to make something out of this. Excuses feel good in the short term. They let you off the hook. They protect your ego. They keep you from dealing with failure. But excuses are the reason people stay in the same place year after year. They're a prison disguised as comfort. When you say, I don't have time, what you're really saying is, it's not important enough. When you say, I wasn't born with that talent, what you're really saying is, I don't want to do the work to develop it. When you say that's just the way I am, what you're really saying is I've accepted my limitations. There is no growth without responsibility. You can't win in life if you're always trying to protect yourself from being wrong. You've got to admit where you're falling short. You've got to call yourself out, not to destroy your confidence, but to build real confidence. Real confidence comes from knowing you're improving. And you can only improve what you take ownership of. When you say, this is my fault, this is my mess, and I'm going to clean it up. You shift from powerless to powerful. That's what real strength looks like. Not perfection, not pretending to have it all together, but owning your life fully. You can change your life by changing the way you respond to challenges. Instead of looking for the nearest exit, look for the lesson. Instead of hiding from the truth, ask yourself how you can grow from it. Instead of focusing on what's unfair, focus on what you can do. When you operate from that mindset, you become dangerous in the best way. Because now, nothing can stop you. Not failure, not rejection, not fear. Because you no longer run from difficulty, you face it. And that's how people win. Not by having easier lives, but by facing what's hard and becoming stronger because of it. If you want to get serious about your life, stop explaining your problems and start solving them. Stop looking for sympathy and start developing strength. Stop telling people why it's not your fault and start showing them how you're going to fix it. This is what personal responsibility looks like. It's not glamorous. It's not always inspiring, but it's the only way forward. You don't need permission to start. You don't need approval to change. You just need to stop lying to yourself and start building yourself. If you've wasted years making excuses, that doesn't make you weak. What makes you weak is pretending you haven't. What makes you weak is refusing to change. You get stronger by facing your mistakes. You get stronger by admitting where you went wrong. You get stronger by taking that pain and turning it into fuel. You don't need a perfect plan. You need honest effort, consistent effort, relentless effort. That's how you build a life you're proud of. Start small. If you have to take one area of your life, just one, and take full responsibility for it, your health, your mindset, your time, your relationships, your finances, pick one. And ask yourself, what have I been avoiding here? You'll feel resistance. That's a good sign. That's where the growth is. Own that space. Change that behavior. Keep going until you prove to yourself that you're serious. Then pick another area. Then another. And over time, you'll look back and realize you're not the same person anymore. Not because life changed, but because you changed. No one is coming to save you. That's not a reason to panic. That's a reason to rise. You are responsible for your healing. You are responsible for your mindset. You are responsible for your effort. You are responsible for how you show up every single day. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Start believing in yourself through action. You don't need to convince anyone else. Prove it to yourself. If you've made bad decisions, own them. If you've let people down, own it. If you've wasted time, admit it, then get back in the game. Don't drown in regret. Use it. Let it sharpen your focus. Let it remind you of what matters. You can rebuild your life at any moment, but only if you stop pretending it's someone else's job to fix it. This isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest. Most people are not honest with themselves. They say they want change, but they don't change their habits. They say they want to grow, but they still cling to old excuses. They say they want to be better, but they're still defending the same weak behavior. You've got to decide what you want: more comfort or progress. You can't have both. Excuses are comforting, but they're also disempowering. Every excuse you hold on to makes you smaller. It shrinks your potential. It weakens your spirit. You weren't meant to live small. You were meant to rise, to grow, to become more. But you can't do that if you're constantly justifying why you're not where you want to be. If you're not happy with your life, do something about it. If you're not proud of your habits, change them. If you don't like the way things are going, stop talking about it and start changing it. You've got one life, one shot, and it goes fast. Every day you spend making excuses is a day you'll never get back. You don't need more motivation. You need more responsibility. You need to wake up and say, no more hiding, no more blaming, no more running. I'm taking full ownership of everything from this moment on. And once you do, everything changes. Not all at once, but gradually, daily, through action, through effort, through choosing the harder path again and again, until it becomes who you are. You become powerful when you no longer need a reason to take action. You just take it because it's who you are. Because you've trained yourself to be responsible. Because you've decided to live with integrity. That's what winning looks like. Not money, not praise, not recognition, but waking up every day knowing you're showing up with everything you've got. If your life isn't where you want it to be, that's not a reason to give up. That's your reason to start. Don't focus on how far you've fallen. Focus on how strong you're about to become. This isn't the end for you. This is your turning point, but only if you choose to own it. All of it. The past, the present, the future. Stop giving other people control over your narrative. Take it back. Own your time. Own your energy. Own your progress. Because no one else can do that for you. The more responsibility you take, the more powerful you become. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You develop discipline. You build resilience. You sharpen your focus. You start seeing obstacles as opportunities. And that's the mindset that wins. The one that doesn't look for a way out. The one that looks for a way forward. If you want to change your life, stop talking and start taking full responsibility for everything. Not just when it's convenient. Not just when it feels good. Every day, in every moment, in every decision. Because the life you want is built on responsibility. And it starts with one simple truth. No more excuses, only action, only forward. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are the choices you make today. And if today you choose to take full responsibility for your life, then everything changes. It doesn't happen by force. It happens by clarity. It happens when you stop defending what's broken and start building what's needed. There is nothing more powerful than someone who refuses to be a victim. Not because their life has been easy, but because they've decided not to be controlled by anything or anyone ever again. Taking ownership is about developing a mindset that sees challenges as calls to action. You don't back away when things get uncomfortable. You lean in. You don't wait for permission. You give yourself permission to rise. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or support. They fail because they keep waiting for life to be fair. But life doesn't owe you anything. It will keep testing you. It will keep presenting you with obstacles. And it's in how you face those moments that you define who you are. You can't grow if you keep making excuses. When you say things like, "I was too tired," or "I didn't feel like it," what you're really doing is choosing comfort over commitment. You don't need more comfort. You need more responsibility. You need to be the person who does what's necessary, not just what's easy. Your life doesn't get better when things around you change. It gets better when you change how you respond. The more responsibility you take, the more freedom you create. Most people think freedom is doing whatever they want. That's not real freedom. That's chaos. Real freedom is waking up with clarity, knowing what needs to be done, and having the discipline to do it. Real freedom is trusting yourself to follow through. Real freedom is the result of structure, purpose, and commitment to growth. You get there by making small choices every day that align with your values. You stop making excuses for why you're not healthy. And you start taking action to build strength. You stop blaming your schedule for your lack of progress. And you start managing your time like it matters because it does. You stop pointing fingers when things go wrong. And you start asking what you could have done better. These are small shifts, but they compound, and over time, they change everything. Ownership means taking control of your reactions. You don't get to choose everything that happens, but you always choose how you interpret it and what you do next. If someone lets you down, you don't waste time complaining. You learn how to set better boundaries. If you lose a job, you don't collapse into self-pity. You prepare to come back stronger. If you fail at a goal, you don't lower your standards. You upgrade your strategy. This mindset puts you in the driver's seat. It demands that you live with awareness. You start paying attention to your thoughts, your habits, your routines. You stop coasting through life and start questioning what's actually serving you. You stop accepting mediocrity from yourself. You raise your standards not for other people to impress them, but for yourself. Because you're done playing small because You finally realize that no one is coming to push you. And that's not something to fear. That's something to get excited about, because it means you get to be the one who decides what your life becomes. When you take ownership, you become harder to break. Disappointment still hurts, but you don't let it stop you. Fear still shows up, but you don't let it control you. You don't avoid hard conversations. You have them. You don't hide from pressure. You embrace it. You don't panic when plans change. You adapt. That's what makes you resilient. Not pretending to have it all figured out, but refusing to give up when it's easier to walk away. One of the most powerful things you can do is stop blaming people who hurt you and start focusing on healing yourself. Blame gives them power. Ownership gives you power. It doesn't mean what happened was okay. It doesn't mean you ignore the damage. It means you refuse to let pain be the reason you stay stuck. You work through it. You grow past it. You rebuild from it. That's strength. That's power. That's progress. Another important aspect of ownership is emotional maturity. You learn to manage your emotions instead of letting them control you. You don't snap at people because you're stressed. You take responsibility for how you show up. You don't act impulsively. You slow down, reflect, and respond with intention. You stop blaming circumstances for your bad attitude. You start developing habits that improve your mindset. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being accountable. When you're accountable, you grow faster. You learn from mistakes instead of denying them. You improve your character. You earn respect from others, and more importantly, from yourself. Taking full ownership also means honoring your word. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. Not just when it's convenient. Not just when people are watching. Always, because your word means something to you. Because your actions reflect who you are. Every time you follow through, you build trust in yourself, and that trust is the foundation of self-belief. You don't need validation. When you live with integrity, you know who you are. You also stop comparing yourself to others. Ownership shifts your focus inward. You stop measuring your worth based on someone else's timeline. You realize your path is your own, and that allows you to grow at your own pace. You're not racing anyone. You're evolving for your own reasons. That kind of growth is sustainable because it's rooted in purpose, not ego. You'll notice that the more ownership you take, the more grounded you become. You stop chasing shortcuts. You stop falling for quick fixes. You start investing in real growth. You start doing things that last. You build habits. You master skills. You prioritize consistency over hype. That's how lasting change is. Created, not overnight, not through hacks, but through deep responsibility day in and day out. This way of living isn't always glamorous. It's often quiet, uncomfortable, and demanding, but it gives you something superficial. Success never will. Peace. Peace that comes from knowing you've given your best. Peace that comes from living in alignment with your values. Peace that comes from becoming someone you deeply respect. That's the reward for taking ownership. It's not just about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. There's no secret formula to success. There's just showing up every day with full responsibility, doing what needs to be done, learning from your failures, adjusting when necessary, staying focused when it's tempting to drift, refusing to settle when it's easier to give in. If you can do that, not just once, but consistently, you will win. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but eventually, because discipline compounds, character compounds, effort compounds. So wherever you are right now, start from there. Don't wait until everything is perfect. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now. Take control of what you can. Do the work. Build momentum. Grow through discipline. Speak truth to yourself. Stop waiting to be saved and start becoming the person who saves yourself. Because the moment you take ownership of your life, your healing begins, your clarity sharpens, your strength rises. And from that place, there's nothing you can't build, nothing you can't overcome, nothing you can't become. That's what it means to focus on you until you win. Chapter: Commit to progress every day, no matter the challenges. Progress doesn't happen by accident. It happens by commitment. Not a temporary decision, not a short burst of motivation, but a relentless promise to yourself that no matter what you're feeling, no matter what obstacles show up, no matter how slow it seems, you will keep going. Most people start strong and fade quickly. They set goals and never follow through. They have dreams, but no discipline. And so they stay stuck in cycles, always talking about what they want to do, but never becoming who they could be. The only way to break that cycle is to commit fully, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Every day offers you a choice. You can either move forward or stay where you are. Progress doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require that you have all the answers. It just requires effort. Small actions done consistently will always beat big intentions left undone. You don't need to be extreme. You just need to be consistent. Show up every single day. Build momentum. Refuse to quit. When you wake up, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself that growth doesn't come to people who wait. It comes to people who work. Progress isn't always exciting. Most of it is quiet. Most of it is repetitive. But it's in those moments when no one is watching, when it would be easier to do nothing, that your future is being shaped. The person who keeps going when it's boring, when it's tough, when it's unclear, that's the person who wins. Real commitment means you stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop saying, "I'll try again tomorrow." You stop justifying why you're not where you want to be. You start doing the things that move you forward today. You don't wait for a better mood. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for the perfect plan. You move now. You take the next step. Even if it's small, that one step may not change your life today. But the habit of moving forward will. Challenges will come. They're part of the process. Progress doesn't mean avoiding problems. It means facing them with courage. It means adjusting your approach, learning from mistakes, and finding solutions. When things go wrong, you don't shut down. You don't let failure define you. You look at what happened, learn from it, and keep going. Every struggle you face is training you for the next level. The obstacles are not there to stop you. They're there to develop you. There are going to be days when your energy is low. Days when your mind is filled with doubt. Days when the path ahead seems too long. That's when your commitment matters most. Anyone can stay committed when it's easy. But the people who build something great, the ones who change their lives and inspire others, are the ones who keep pushing through those hard days. They don't wait for the environment to be perfect. They build their discipline in the middle of the storm. You don't get stronger by avoiding resistance. You get stronger by facing it. Progress is built through repetition, through pushing your limits, through showing up when you don't feel like it. It's not a single breakthrough. It's thousands of decisions made one day at a time, with a clear purpose and unwavering drive. You're not always going to feel inspired. That's why you need a system. That's why you need habits. That's why you need standards. When you're committed to progress, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You become ruthless about your priorities. You eliminate distractions. You stop scrolling for hours. You stop gossiping. You stop chasing what's easy and start doing what's necessary. Every hour counts. Every choice either builds you or breaks you. The time you waste today is the growth you delay tomorrow. If you truly want change, your actions must align with your ambition. Discipline is the path to real progress. It's doing the right thing when it's inconvenient. It's showing up to work on your goals when no one else believes in them. It's keeping promises to yourself even when it hurts. You can't fake discipline. You either live it or you don't. And the good news is that it's not something you're born with. It's something you build one decision at a time, one routine at a time, one challenge at a time. Your journey will not be perfect. There will be setbacks. There will be days when you slip. There will be times when you question your path. That's normal. But commitment means you don't quit just because it's hard. You adjust your mindset. You reset your focus. You keep moving forward. Progress is not a straight line. It's filled with detours, delays, and disappointments. But those moments are not the end. They're part of the process that shapes your character. There is power in doing hard things, power in delaying gratification, power in saying no to short-term comfort so you can say yes to long-term growth. Every time you resist the urge to give up, you strengthen your will. Every time you push through resistance, you build endurance. Every time you finish what you start, you build a reputation with yourself. And that's where confidence comes from. Not from hype, not from pretending, but from doing the work and knowing you earned the progress. Your potential is bigger than your problems, but you'll never tap into it unless you commit fully. That means you stop waiting for someone to save you. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop expecting things to be easy. Instead, you face each day with purpose. You wake up and decide that no matter how hard it gets, you're going to make progress. That doesn't mean you never rest. It means you don't quit. Rest when you need it, but never confuse rest with giving up. Progress is built through habits. The things you do daily are shaping your future. If you read every day, you get smarter. If you train your body, you get stronger. If you journal, you become more aware. If you focus, you build discipline. These are not giant moves. They're simple, repeated actions that compound over time. You don't have to change your life in a week. You just have to improve one step at a time. But you must be committed. You must show up consistently. You must keep raising your standards. Progress is personal. It's not about competing with others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. The world doesn't need more people trying to impress each other. It needs more people focused on becoming who they were meant to be. When you commit to progress, you start measuring success differently. You start valuing growth over comfort, discipline over attention, purpose over popularity. And that shift changes everything. Your future is not waiting for the right moment. It's waiting for you to decide. Decide that you're done wasting time. Decide that your goals matter more than your excuses. Decide that even when it's tough, you're going to keep going. When you live with that level of commitment, you become unstoppable. Challenges won't break you. They'll shape you. Doubt won't paralyze you. It'll push you to prepare more. Fear won't stop you. It'll fuel your courage. Every day, ask yourself one question. Did I move forward today? That's all it takes. Not leaps, not perfection. Just movement, just action, just progress. If the answer is yes, you're on the right path. If the answer is no, adjust quickly. Don't beat yourself up. Don't spiral, just get back on track. Progress isn't about never failing. It's about refusing to stay down. The people who achieve lasting change are not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who stayed consistent. The ones who kept building when no one clapped. The ones who believed in their vision when nothing around them supported it. They didn't just wish, they worked. They didn't just plan, they executed. They didn't just talk, they lived it. That can be you. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect timing. You just need a decision. A real one. One that doesn't fade in a week. One that doesn't depend on motivation. One that holds when things fall apart. Decide that you will make progress every day, even when it's slow, even when it's hard, even when it feels like nothing is working. Because the truth is, everything is working. Every rep, every hour, every sacrifice, it's all adding up. You might not see it yet, but one day you will. And when you do, you'll be proud that you never gave up. Progress isn't a gift you receive. It's a reward you earn, and it's earned one day at a time. Through actions that often go unnoticed, through consistency that rarely gets applause, and through resilience that's only visible when you look back after years of effort. When you do this, you make a real commitment to grow every single day. You start to see your life change from the inside out. Your thoughts sharpen, your decisions improve, and your confidence builds. Not because everything becomes easier, but because you become stronger. You must wake up each day with a personal mission to move forward, even by a small margin. No matter the circumstances, no matter the stress, no matter the temptations, your job is to grow. That is your responsibility. You don't owe the world explanations. You don't need validation. What you owe yourself is progress. Your job is to become better. Not just when you feel good, not just when it's convenient, but especially when everything around you gives you a reason to slow down or stop. Some people look at adversity as a sign to give up, but those who are committed see adversity as part of the training. They understand that tough situations bring out their potential. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every disappointment becomes fuel. You don't have to like the struggle, but you do have to respect it. Because it is in the struggle that you discover your real capacity. Growth doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from facing it head on and choosing to push forward anyway. The real shift happens when you stop treating your goals like suggestions and start treating them like non-negotiable priorities. That's when you know you've committed. Sometimes missing a step in your growth feels like breaking a promise. When skipping a workout or ignoring your schedule feels like betraying yourself. That's the level you need to reach. Not for anyone else, but for your own self-worth and sense of pride. Your future depends on the standards you enforce now. Even when progress feels slow, even when results aren't visible, every effort is shaping your mindset. You are rewiring how you think. You're becoming more disciplined, more focused, more capable. And that's what real progress is. It's not just about achieving external results. It's about becoming the kind of person who can sustain those results once you get there. Temporary success doesn't change lives. Consistent growth does. The days that test your patience and your resolve are the most important. They are the days that separate those who are truly committed from those who are casually interested. Casual interest fades. Real commitment endures. If you only work on yourself when it's convenient, you'll always fall short of your potential. But if you decide that every day is an opportunity to grow, even just a little, then no challenge can keep you stuck. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need a flawless record. But you do need honesty. Be honest about how much effort you're giving. Be honest about the distractions you allow. Be honest about the things you avoid just because they're uncomfortable. That honesty will hurt sometimes, but it will also free you. It will allow you to confront the habits holding you back and replace them with new ones that push you forward. Your environment plays a role too. If you surround yourself with people who lack discipline, you'll start to believe that laziness is normal. If your circle is full of people who avoid hard things, you'll feel out of place for being committed. That's why part of daily progress is protecting your space. Be around those who challenge you to level up, people who are also growing, people who talk about ideas, not just other people. That type of environment keeps you sharp. Commitment means you stop giving yourself an escape route. You stop telling yourself that you can delay. You stop saying things like, "I'll start when I feel ready," or "maybe next month." That kind of thinking only delays your potential. You must create urgency in your mind. You must act as if there's no backup plan, as if your growth is the only option, because it is. Every moment you wait, your dreams drift further. Every time you hesitate, your confidence weakens. If you want to become great, you must build structure in your life. That means setting routines that prioritize your values. That means managing your time with intention. That means being proactive instead of reactive. Don't let the day control you. Control the day. Wake up with a plan. Know what matters, cut out what doesn't, and stick to it even when your mood shifts. You're not ruled by emotion. You're ruled by your vision. And that's what keeps you going. There will always be distractions trying to pull you off track. That's the nature of life. But progress demands focus. You can't chase 5 things and expect excellence in one. You must choose your priorities and give them everything. That might mean saying no more often. That might mean letting go of temporary pleasures. That might mean losing people who don't respect your mission. That's part of growth. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to become the best version of yourself. You're going to face criticism. You're going to have people doubt you, and that's fine, because their opinion doesn't pay the price for your failure. You do. So never let outside noise silence your inner commitment. Stay focused on what matters. Keep showing up. Keep putting in the work. Let your consistency be the response. Let your progress speak when words fall short. Understand that growth is never wasted. Even if you feel like you're not where you want to be, every disciplined choice is building something. You're building habits. You're building a future. You're building a mindset that can handle anything life throws your way. And that's the real win. Not just the outcome, but the person you're becoming through the process. It's easy to start with excitement, but long-term progress requires discipline long after that excitement fades. You must find your rhythm and keep moving no matter how you feel. Motivation may help you start, but identity keeps you going. Become the person who doesn't quit. The person who does what they said they do. The person who doesn't need to be watched or pushed. That kind of self-rust changes your life. Progress is earned in the dark, in the quiet hours when no one is cheering. When you're exhausted but still getting it done. When it would be easier to scroll or sleep or give in, but you choose to grow. Those are the moments that matter. Those are the choices that add up over time. That's what separates average from excellence. Start seeing every challenge as a test of your character. A chance to prove to yourself that you can rise. Don't wish things were easier. Get better. Don't hope for less stress. Become more resilient. You are not limited by your past. You are only limited by how long you wait to take yourself seriously. If you want change, prove it. Show it in how you move. Show it in how you use your time. Show it in how you carry yourself every single day. When you look back a year from now, you'll either be proud of your discipline or regret your delay. You'll either see growth or excuses, and that choice is entirely yours. No one else controls that you do, and that's the power you've always had. So take it, own it, and decide today that from this moment forward, you will move with intention. You will pursue your goals with fire, and you will commit to progress every day, no matter what. Chapter: Build a routine that prioritizes your personal growth. Most people wake up each day reacting to life. They move through their routines without direction, consumed by distractions, noise, and obligations that have nothing to do with their own personal development. They live in cycles of repetition that lead nowhere. And the truth is, until you consciously build a routine that reflects your commitment to personal growth, you'll keep circling the same frustrations, wondering why nothing changes. Your routine is the foundation of your life. If you want to grow, you need to make sure that what you do every day reflects the person you want to become. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. The way you structure your day, the habits you choose, and the decisions you repeat are all shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. So, if your current routine is built on distractions, emotional reactions, and unplanned moments, it's time to take control. You cannot evolve into a better version of yourself with the same patterns that keep you stuck. Change begins when you take full responsibility for how you use your time, energy, and focus every single day. Your routine is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. A chaotic schedule filled with meaningless tasks does not equal progress. You don't get better by staying busy. You get better by being intentional. That means creating time blocks for things that actually develop you mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Whether it's reading, learning a new skill, journaling, training your body, or planning your goals. Those activities are not just extras. They are essential, and they need to be part of your daily system if you're serious about growing. When you wake up, your first actions set the tone for the day. If you reach for your phone and scroll through social media, you immediately put your focus in someone else's hands. You let the outside world dictate your mindset before you've even centered yourself. That's why a powerful routine begins in the morning. Start with stillness. Give yourself space to think. Move your body. Get your thoughts clear. Set your priorities before the chaos of the world comes knocking. Own the first hour of your day, and you begin to own your life. Many people underestimate the power of small habits repeated daily. They look for breakthrough moments or major shifts, but overlook the quiet consistency that builds real strength. Your routine doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to impress anyone. It just needs to be consistent and aligned with your goals. The more automatic you make your growth habits, the less effort it takes to maintain momentum. You no longer have to rely on motivation, because your structure does the heavy lifting. Growth requires discipline. And discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you train. Your routine becomes your training ground. Every time you choose structure over chaos, focus over distraction, and effort over comfort, you build mental muscle. Over time, that discipline bleeds into every part of your life. You start to carry yourself differently. You think more clearly. You act with purpose, and people notice, not because you talk about it, but because your life becomes a quiet reflection of your internal standards. Building a routine for personal growth also means being honest about what no longer serves you. You can't build the future while clinging to habits from the past. If your evenings are filled with mindless entertainment, late-night scrolling, and wasted hours, you're actively trading your potential for momentary comfort. You have to decide what matters more, temporary pleasure or lasting transformation. And then you design your day around that decision. You don't need a perfect schedule. You need a sustainable one, a routine that you can commit to, even on your hardest days. That means keeping it realistic. Don't overload your day with different self-improvement habits. Start with 2 or 3 that have the most impact and build from there. The goal is not to overwhelm yourself, but to create a rhythm you can maintain long-term. Progress is not a race. It's a system of compounding actions that pay off over time. Structure your day around your highest energy levels. Some people work best in the morning. Others have mental clarity at night. Learn yourself. Pay attention to when you're most alert, most focused, and most productive. Then schedule your most important tasks during those times. Don't waste your best energy on meaningless obligations. Use it to invest in yourself, to create, to think, to plan, and to build. Time is not just passing, it's shaping you. And every moment you let slip away without purpose is a moment you can't get back. Cut out the noise. Reduce how often you check your phone. Limit how many opinions you listen to. Eliminate unnecessary meetings. Declutter your physical and digital spaces. Clarity comes from simplicity. And simplicity gives you mental bandwidth to stay focused on what matters. The fewer decisions you have to make about trivial things, the more energy you have to direct toward growth. Create checkpoints throughout your day. Short moments to pause, breathe, reflect, and realign. These checkpoints keep you grounded. They help you evaluate whether your actions are aligned with your goals or whether you've drifted. You don't need long breaks, just intentional moments where you pull yourself back to center and ask, am I growing right now or just going through the motions? That question alone can shift the entire trajectory of your day. End your day with reflection. Take 2 minutes to ask yourself what you did well, what you learned, and what you can improve tomorrow. This habit, though simple, creates powerful momentum. It makes you more self-aware. It sharpens your thinking, and it reminds you that every day is a fresh opportunity to evolve. Growth is not just about doing more. It's about doing better. And reflection is where better begins. Some days will feel productive, others won't. That's normal. But even on the days you feel off, stick to the bare minimum of your routine. Show up for yourself even when your mood says otherwise. That consistency, especially in the hard moments, is what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. Don't allow your emotions to dictate your actions. Use your actions to reset your emotions. That's how you stay in control. A routine that prioritizes your personal growth doesn't just change your habits, it changes your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who values excellence, someone who takes life seriously, someone who doesn't just dream but acts. That shift in self-perception is what fuels long-term growth. You stop looking for motivation because you already believe in who you're becoming, and that belief becomes your fuel. Don't overcomplicate this. Personal growth isn't about having a perfect life or following some grand blueprint. It's about waking up every day and choosing to be just a little better. It's about deciding that your life matters enough to be intentional. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when no one is watching, even when it's not exciting, even when it's hard. That's the work. That's the process. That's how you transform. When your routine is aligned with your values, everything starts to feel more meaningful. You stop feeling lost. You stop wasting time. You move with a quiet sense of urgency, not from panic, but from purpose. You begin to trust yourself more. You feel stronger mentally, more balanced emotionally, and more grounded in your daily life. That internal shift changes how you handle stress, how you respond to challenges, and how you see yourself in the mirror. You owe it to yourself to take your time seriously. You owe it to your future to structure your life with intention. You owe it to your goals to show up every day with discipline and focus. And it all starts with your routine. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until life slows down. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. There is no perfect time. There's only now. And now is your opportunity to take control, build structure, and create a system that pulls the best out of you day by day. This is your life. This is your responsibility. And every single day you wake up is a chance to get closer to the person you know you're capable of becoming. But it will never happen by accident. It will only happen when your actions match your vision. So build your routine around growth. Protect your time, guard your focus, commit to your process, and let your daily habits become the foundation of the life you truly want to live. Most people underestimate how powerful a well-designed day can be. They assume change takes years, when in truth it begins the moment you decide to structure your life around the things that elevate you. It begins the moment you shift from randomness to rhythm. You can't grow if you're always guessing. You can't reach your potential if your days are built on reaction instead of intention. There is a quiet strength in knowing exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how it moves you forward. The challenge is that life constantly tries to pull you off track. Distractions don't knock. They barge in. Deadlines pile up. Emotions fluctuate. Doubt creeps in when you're tired. And temptations always show up when discipline is needed most. That's why your routine must be solid. It must act as a shield that protects your focus and reinforces your direction. When your habits are stable, they become your anchor. You don't spiral because your routine holds you steady, even when your mind wavers. One of the most important things you can do is reduce decision fatigue. Every day you waste energy deciding when to work out, when to eat, when to learn, or what task to start. You're burning mental energy that could be used for growth. A strong routine removes the guesswork. It puts your values on autopilot. It means your most important actions are already scheduled. So you don't debate whether to do them. You simply execute. That mental clarity gives you an edge, especially when life gets complicated. Your personal growth routine should be personal. It should reflect who you are, what you're working toward, and where your weaknesses lie. If your mornings are chaotic, fix your nights. If you're always mentally drained by noon, protect your mornings for high-value work. Observe yourself like a scientist. Pay attention to what drains you, what sharpens you, and what patterns keep holding you back. Then build a daily structure that counters those weak spots and amplifies your strengths. There will be seasons when everything flows effortlessly. But there will also be seasons when showing up feels like lifting a mountain. Those are the times your routine becomes a lifeline. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay consistent. A minute walk, a short journal session, reading one page, meditating for minutes. It all adds up. The habit of effort matters more than the size of the effort. When you choose consistency over intensity, you build endurance, and endurance leads to transformation. Never mistake busyness for progress. A full schedule doesn't mean you're growing. If your days are packed, but nothing is moving you closer to your vision, it's time to reassess. Remove what doesn't contribute to your development. Be ruthless about cutting out the non-essential. Make space for what fuels your evolution. This requires honesty. It demands that you let go of the illusion of productivity and get serious about results. Are your habits helping you become better or just helping you feel busy? Growth thrives in simplicity. The more complicated your routine, the easier it becomes to abandon. Keep it simple enough to follow, but structured enough to produce results. Start with core anchors. Wake up at a consistent time. Move your body. Eat with intention. Learn something new. Reflect at night. Build around these anchors and add as needed, but always return to simplicity. A few solid habits done consistently will outperform inconsistent efforts. Build friction into your negative habits and remove friction from your positive ones. If you want to read more, keep your book visible. If you want to eat cleaner, prep your meals in advance. If you want to reduce phone usage, keep your phone out of reach during deep work. Your environment either supports or sabotages your growth. You don't need more willpower. You need fewer obstacles to the habits that matter. Set yourself up to win. Resist the urge to compare your routine to anyone else's. Your path is unique. What works for someone else might drain you. Don't copy-adapt. The goal is not to impress the world with how disciplined you are. The goal is to build a system that supports your inner growth and keeps you grounded in your purpose. Personal growth is not a performance. It's a process of becoming. Let your routine reflect that. You also need to be emotionally invested in your routine. If it feels like a chore, you'll resist it. But when your habits are tied to your identity, they become part of who you are. Don't just go through the motions. Attach meaning to what you do. Remind yourself why it matters. Connect your habits to your future. When you see your daily actions as a form of self-respect, commitment becomes natural. You're no longer just completing tasks. You're honoring your future self. There's no finish line to personal growth. That's why your routine should evolve. As you grow, your needs will change. Stay flexible. Audit your routine regularly. Ask yourself what's working, what needs improvement, and what you've outgrown. Complacency kills progress. A great routine is not static. It's alive. It grows with you. It adapts to your vision. It evolves as your standards rise. Don't wait until your life falls apart to build structure. Don't wait until you're burned out to set boundaries. Start now. Start when things are stable, so that when challenges hit, you have a system that keeps you grounded. A strong routine makes you resilient. It doesn't stop the storm. It prepares you for it. And when life shakes you, your habits keep you standing. Be intentional with your evenings. Most people think growth happens in the morning, but what you do before bed is just as important. Wind down with clarity. Set your priorities for tomorrow. Disconnect from screens. Read, reflect, breathe deeply. Sleep is not just rest, it's recovery. And your routine should prepare your mind and body for that recovery. Don't carry today's stress into tomorrow. Close your day with peace. Personal growth is not about constant hustle. It's about consistent alignment. Your routine should not exhaust you. It should empower you. It should be something you look forward to, not something you dread. That's how you know it's working. If your days feel purposeful, your energy is strong, and your mind is clear, you're on the right track. If not, adjust. Don't push harder, push smarter. When setbacks happen, and they will, don't abandon your routine. Return to it. Let it ground you. Let it remind you of who you're becoming. Let it keep you stable when your emotions are unstable. The more storms you survive while sticking to your system, the stronger your belief in yourself becomes. And self-belief is the foundation of everything. Your routine is your daily vote for the life you want. Every habit is a message to your future. Every choice is a brick in the foundation of your character. You don't have to do everything at once. Just commit to showing up. One decision, one habit, one day at a time. That's how you grow. That's how you build a life that reflects your highest potential. Not with luck, not with talent, but with intention, structure, and relentless consistency. Chapter: Master Your Mindset by focusing on what matters most. What's happening inside your mind controls the way you live. If your thoughts are scattered, distracted, or full of noise, so is your life. And if your mind is focused, disciplined, and centered on what truly matters, you move with clarity and strength. Mastering your mindset is not about avoiding problems or pretending everything is fine. It's about learning how to think with purpose. It's about training your mind to stop reacting emotionally to every small thing and start responding with calm, clear, and rational intent. Your mindset is not fixed. It's built through choices. Every day, you're shaping how you think by what you give your attention to. If you keep feeding your mind with fear, comparison, or distractions, don't be surprised when you feel anxious and lost. If you keep chasing what others have, you'll lose touch with what actually brings you peace. But if you build the discipline to focus on what really matters to you, your values, your goals, your growth, you will start to feel powerful from within. People spend years looking for motivation in books, videos, or other people. But the truth is, you don't need to be constantly motivated if your mindset is anchored. If you know what you stand for, you won't be swayed every time something doesn't go your way. If you've trained your mind to stay locked in on progress, you won't waste energy on things that don't serve your purpose. You need to teach yourself how to think in a way that drives you forward, not in circles. One of the first steps in mastering your mindset is to become aware of what is stealing your focus. There are countless voices in your head every day. Some from the past, some from your environment, some from people who don't even know you. You need to pause and ask yourself, who is really in control of my thoughts? If your thoughts are always on what you lack, you'll keep living in scarcity. If your thoughts are always comparing, you'll never feel enough. The mind becomes what it practices. So be intentional about what you allow in. Focusing on what matters most doesn't mean you ignore everything else. It means you learn to prioritize. You can't do everything. You can't chase every opportunity. You can't respond to every opinion. You have to make peace with ignoring things that don't align with the life you want to build. You have to let go of being everywhere and start being present where it counts. Most people feel overwhelmed, not because they're doing too much, but because they're not clear on what truly matters. You must get to know your values. What do you want to stand for? What are the non-negotiables in your life? What kind of person are you trying to become? When you get clear on these things, your decisions become easier. You stop trying to please everyone. You stop chasing things out of insecurity. You stop wasting energy proving your worth. You move through life grounded in your principles, not in other people's expectations. A strong mindset also means you don't give up when things get hard. You stay focused even when you don't feel like it. You stay disciplined when no one is watching. You keep showing up, not because it's easy, but because you've made a decision to rise above the old version of yourself. Most people break down, not because life is unbearable, but because they never learned how to manage their mind when life tests them. You have to decide that you will not let temporary emotions destroy long-term progress. There will always be noise. There will always be distractions. There will always be setbacks. But if your mind is locked in on your purpose, you learn how to keep moving forward without being shaken. You learn how to be still in chaos. You learn how to turn pressure into fuel. You learn how to use discomfort as a mirror, not a cage. And that only happens when you stop entertaining every thought and start training your mind like a muscle. You need to take full control of your internal world. What you allow in becomes the foundation of your beliefs. What you focus on becomes the direction of your life. So start filtering your attention. Start saying no to anything that weakens your mindset. Start creating an environment that supports your growth. If your phone is full of negativity, clean it up. If your conversations drain you, walk away. If your habits are working against you, change them. Don't wait for a breakdown to finally take your mind seriously. Mindset mastery is a lifelong process, but it starts with simple daily decisions. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you grow stronger. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you build resilience. Every time you choose purpose over ego, you get closer to the life you want. These small choices compound. They shape your identity. They build your character. They give you quiet confidence that doesn't need to be seen or praised. You start to feel rooted in who you are. And that is the most powerful feeling. People often confuse mindset with motivation, but motivation fades. Discipline remains. You must build routines that anchor your mind. Start your day with intention. Don't open your phone until you've grounded yourself. Write down your priorities. Check in with your thoughts. Notice if you're slipping into negativity. Redirect yourself with awareness. Practice gratitude not because it's trendy, but because it reminds your brain to focus on what's working instead of what's missing. When you feel yourself drifting, pull yourself back. Remind yourself of what you're here to do. Remind yourself that every minute lost to distraction is a minute stolen from your potential. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. But you do need to show up every day with the commitment to be better than you were yesterday. That's how transformation begins. One focused day at a time. Your mind is your most powerful tool, or your biggest obstacle. If you don't learn how to use it, it will use you. If you don't give it a direction, it will create chaos. But when you take responsibility for it, when you feed it the right things, when you train it with discipline and protect it from nonsense, it becomes the engine behind everything good in your life, peace, progress, purpose. These things don't come from the outside. They are built in the mind and lived through action. The reason most people struggle is not because they lack information. It's because they don't take control of their focus. You can know what matters, but if your attention is always on what doesn't, nothing changes. You can understand discipline, but if you don't use it to guard your thoughts, you remain stuck. Change begins when you decide that you're done wasting energy on things that do nothing for your growth. There's no shortcut to mastering your mindset. It's a choice you make every day, especially when it's hard. You choose to stay calm when everything around you is loud. You choose to stay focused when everyone else is distracted. You choose to stay grounded in your values when the world pressures you to compromise. And with each choice, you become stronger, not louder, not flashier, just stronger internally, mentally, and emotionally. The real test of your mindset isn't how you act when things are going well. It's how you respond when life pushes back. Do you spiral or stay steady? Do you panic or pause? Do you let emotions lead, or do you respond with clarity? The answer to those questions determines the quality of your life. When your mind is disciplined, your reactions become intentional. You stop acting out of fear. You stop chasing validation. You start creating a life that aligns with your highest standards. Growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It happens when you face resistance and choose to rise anyway. And that rise always starts in the mind. If your inner world is chaotic, no amount of external success will make you feel whole. But if your inner world is steady and focused, no amount of setbacks can destroy your peace. The goal is not to have a perfect life. The goal is to have a powerful mindset that helps you rise through anything. You don't need to fix everything at once. Start by fixing your focus. Start by deciding what matters most in your life. Start by eliminating the distractions that keep pulling you off course. And then stay consistent. Not flashy, not extreme, just consistent. That's how strong mindsets are built. That's how transformation becomes a reality, and that's how you focus on you until you win. Chapter: Push through discomfort to develop strength and resilience. Strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop every time you choose not to quit. Resilience isn't a natural gift. It's earned by those who push through the things that are hard, uncomfortable, and painful. Most people run from discomfort. They avoid it at all costs. They think struggle is a sign to stop. But discomfort is where growth lives. It's not your enemy. It's your training ground. It's the space where you transform into the person you're meant to be. Nothing worth having will ever come without resistance. And the reason most people stay stuck is not because they don't have the ability to succeed. It's because they avoid discomfort. They want the results without the process. They want confidence without rejection. They want discipline without sacrifice. But it doesn't work that way. If you want to grow, you have to lean into the things you'd rather avoid. You have to get used to doing the things you don't feel like doing. Pushing through discomfort is not about pain for the sake of pain. It's about learning how to keep going when everything in you wants to stop. It's about building the mental muscle to stay steady when life gets messy. It's about facing hard things with your eyes open, not looking away and pretending it's fine. The people who build strength are the ones who keep going when it's inconvenient, when it's tiring, when it's boring, and when no one else is cheering. Every time you choose to face discomfort head-on, you gain something. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's perspective, maybe it's toughness, but you never come out weaker. You never walk away smaller. And what used to overwhelm you begins to feel manageable. Not because the situation changed, but because you did. You became someone who doesn't crumble under pressure. You became someone who doesn't let emotions decide your actions. You became someone who rises even with shaky hands. It's easy to be motivated when things are easy. It's easy to feel strong when everything's going well. But when you're exhausted, when things aren't working out, when the results are taking too long, that's when your real mindset shows up. Will you stay focused? Will you keep your promises to yourself? Will you push when nobody is watching? These are the questions that separate growth from comfort. Most never ask themselves those questions because it's easier to stay the same than to face your limits. Discomfort is not a punishment, it's a teacher. It shows you where you're weak, where you lack discipline, where your emotions still control you. And if you're honest, most of your breakthrough moments came after seasons of pressure. Growth doesn't happen in easy moments. It happens when you're stretched, challenged, and humbled. It happens when you stop making excuses and start facing your life with full responsibility. There will be moments where quitting feels justified, moments when your body is tired and your mind is loud with doubt. But those moments are not the end. They are the beginning of a new version of you. The only way to grow is to go through it. You can't skip the process. You can't fast forward growth. You have to show up when it's inconvenient. You have to stay committed when it stops being exciting. You have to push even when the progress is invisible. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the stronger you become. What used to break you becomes a warm-up. What used to trigger you no longer controls you. And little by little, you start to notice that you're not the same. You respond differently. You move with more confidence. You don't panic under pressure. And not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Resilience is built by repetition. You don't become unshakable overnight. You become resilient by showing up every day and refusing to break even when everything inside you wants to give in. You develop inner toughness when you stop running from hard things and start facing them with intention. And each time you choose to push through instead of escape, you add to your strength. You add to your self-belief. You prove to yourself that you can do hard things and come out better because of them. We all want strength. We all want mental toughness. But the question is, are you willing to go through what it takes to build it? Are you willing to sweat through the quiet mornings where no one sees your grind? Are you willing to feel the sting of rejection without letting it define you? Are you willing to endure failure without letting it destroy your identity? If you are, then you're already on your way, because the people who win in the long run are the ones who keep showing up in silence through discomfort without needing applause. You don't need motivation every day. You need standards. You need non-negotiables. You need to stop negotiating with your weaknesses, because every time you do, you give your comfort zone more power. And the more power you give it, the harder it becomes to grow. If you want to break through, you have to stop waiting for perfect conditions. They'll never come. You have to move now. Even if it's messy, even if you're scared, even if you don't feel ready. Because real strength is built in imperfect action. Most people never build the life they want because they give up the second they feel discomfort. They confuse resistance with failure. They think doubt means they're not ready. But doubt is normal. Fear is expected. Resistance is part of the process. You just have to stop letting those feelings decide your next move. You have to act in spite of them. And the more you do that, the less power they hold over you. You don't become tough by reading about toughness. You become tough by putting yourself in situations that require it. You train your mind to handle more by doing hard things on purpose. Wake up early. Work when you don't feel like it. Have the hard conversation. Walk away from the comfort that keeps you soft. These choices aren't easy, but they're necessary. Every time you choose the harder path you grow. Every time you stay true to your standards when no one's watching, you rise. You're not fragile. You're not weak. You've just been taught to avoid struggle instead of face it. But if you want to reach your potential, you have to go through discomfort, not around it. Growth requires sacrifice. Success demands discomfort. And peace comes not from avoiding the storm, but from knowing you can survive it. There's something powerful about choosing discomfort on your own terms. When you do something hard on purpose, you remind yourself that you're not a victim of circumstances. You're the one creating your future. You're the one choosing the pressure, embracing the grind, and refusing to let comfort define your life. And when that becomes your default, everything changes. Your confidence grows, your standards rise, your habits evolve, and the world begins to respect your discipline. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent, even if it's messy, even if you fail sometimes. The key is to not stop, to keep going, to remind yourself daily that pain is temporary, but growth is forever. That discipline may hurt in the short term, but regret will haunt you for a lifetime. You have to choose your heart, and if you're going to go through pain anyway, let it be the kind that builds you, not breaks you. Strength isn't loud, it's quiet. It's built when no one's watching. It's built when you show up after failing. It's built in the moments where you want to quit, but you take one more step. That step might seem small, but over time, those small steps build an unstoppable mindset. And that's what separates those who succeed from those who give up too soon. Life is going to test you. That's a guarantee. But how you respond, that's your power. You can choose to retreat, or you can choose to rise. You can choose to complain, or you can choose to get stronger. No one can do it for you, and no one will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. So stop waiting for the right moment. Start now. Lean into the discomfort. Keep moving forward. You will be tired. You will be doubted. You will be underestimated. But none of that matters if you keep your focus. You don't need anyone's permission to grow. You don't need validation to get better. You just need to do the work day after day, choice after choice. And one day, you'll look back and realize that everything you once thought was too hard to overcome became the very thing that made you unstoppable. Keep pushing, keep building, keep rising, because discomfort is not your enemy. It's your greatest opportunity to become everything you're capable of being. Chapter 6. Invest in yourself first by learning and growing daily. Your greatest investment will never be money, property, or status. It will always be you. The time you give to your own development is the foundation for every outcome you'll ever achieve. If you don't grow, nothing around you grows. If you don't improve, your circumstances won't improve. You're the root. And until you pour into that root every single day, you'll continue to feel like something's missing, even if you gain temporary wins. Real change doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from doing the hard work of learning, growing, and evolving, when no one's clapping and nothing feels urgent. If you want to live at a higher level, you have to start feeding your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Everything begins with the way you think, the way you process, the way you make decisions, the way you respond to difficulty. You can't develop that overnight. You need daily doses of growth, daily practice in reflection, daily commitment to self-improvement. The world isn't holding you back. Your current mindset is. And unless you upgrade it, you'll keep repeating the same habits, making the same decisions, and wondering why your life isn't changing. Nobody's going to hand you wisdom. Nobody's going to sit you down and teach you discipline. It's on you to seek it. You have to want it more than comfort. You have to desire growth more than ease. You have to commit to stretching yourself, even when no one notices. That's what separates those who evolve from those who stay stuck. The people who make progress are the ones who take ownership of their time and feed their minds with ideas that challenge, inspire, and develop them into sharper, more aware individuals. Every moment you waste avoiding growth is a moment you lose forever. The clock is ticking. The world is moving, and if you're not learning something new every day, you're falling behind in ways you won't notice until it's too late. You don't have to learn everything at once, but you do need to learn something. One new insight, one new principle, one new strategy, day after day. Stack it, build it, and over time, your mindset transforms from fragile to focused, from reactive to intentional, from passive to powerful. It doesn't matter how busy you are. If you can scroll, you can read. If you can binge watch, you can listen to something educational. If you can waste time, you can reinvest that same time into something that sharpens your skill set or fuels your growth. It's not about adding more hours. It's about using your existing time with more purpose. You don't need more time. You need more intention. And once you realize that, you stop making excuses and start taking control of your future. Learning isn't a school phase, it's a life principle. The second you stop learning is the second your mind starts shrinking. You stop being curious. You stop exploring. You stop evolving. And then life starts to feel repetitive, like nothing's changing, like every day is the same. But that's not life's fault. That's a symptom of mental stagnation. You can avoid that by simply feeding your brain every single day with something that challenges your old ways of thinking. Something that reminds you that you don't know it all. Something that exposes you to a better version of yourself. Books are not just pages. They're portals. Podcasts are not just noise. They're training grounds. Conversations are not just exchanges. They're opportunities. Every interaction, every piece of content, every moment can be a tool if you decide to treat it like one. But most people aren't paying attention. They drift through the day, numb to the lessons, blind to the wisdom around them. Don't be that person. Be alert, be intentional, be hungry. Let your mind absorb something valuable every day, even if it's uncomfortable or hard to accept. There's a reason the most successful people are always students. They're always learning. They never assume they've arrived. They ask questions. They study the greats. They reflect on their failures. They examine their patterns. They listen more than they speak because they know something average people forget. Growth doesn't stop once you hit a goal. In fact, the higher you rise, the more you need to grow just to stay there. Success without personal growth is like building a tower on sand. Eventually, it collapses. If you don't invest in yourself, you become dependent on others to do it for you. You wait for the right teacher, the right job, the right break. But if you train yourself to become your own source of knowledge and power, then nothing can stop you. You move through life with inner stability. You adapt quicker. You lead better. You see through noise and distractions. You build clarity and calm even in the middle of storms. And all of that comes from your daily decision to learn and grow no matter what. Don't wait until you're forced to change. Learn before you're broken. Reflect before you're lost. Grow before you hit rock bottom. Growth shouldn't be reactive. It should be proactive. If you get ahead in your mind, you stay ahead in your life. And the best way to do that is by training your brain to stay open, focused, and committed to learning. Not just when things go wrong, but always, every single day. No matter what, growth isn't always glamorous. Some days it feels boring. Some days it feels like nothing's changing. But the shift is happening under the surface. Your mind is rewiring. Your standards are rising. Your decisions are sharpening. And the effects will become visible with time. But only if you stay consistent. It's not about doing something massive once. It's about doing something small every day until it becomes who you are. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's responsible for your growth. The faster you understand that, the faster you'll start building the life you want. You don't need permission to improve. You don't need perfect conditions. All you need is a decision to make every day count. Read something challenging. Listen to something that forces you to think. Reflect on your day and ask how you could have done better. These tiny steps lead to massive change, but only if you do them repeatedly. Start valuing your mind like the asset it is. Guard what goes into it. Protect it from garbage, from distractions, from useless noise. Be selective about what you allow to influence you. You don't need more information. You need the right information. You need clarity, not clutter. Focus, not overwhelm. Depth, not hype. Choose sources that push you forward. Choose mentors that live what they teach. Choose lessons that stretch your thinking, not just entertain it. You're building your future right now with every thought you allow. Every book you read, every hour, you invest in mastering your craft. You're either feeding your growth or feeding your weakness. There is no neutral. Every day counts, and the more you treat each day like a seed, the more you'll begin to see a life blooming that reflects your highest potential. Some people wait for the right motivation to grow, but those who win don't wait. They build discipline. Instead, they don't rely on emotion, they rely on structure. They set systems that make growth automatic. A morning routine, a reading habit, a daily journal, a goal review at night. These tiny systems become a foundation that outlasts any excuse. And once you have that structure, it becomes harder to fail because you've trained yourself to keep showing up regardless of how you feel. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to be the most committed, because consistent learning beats natural talent when the talented stop improving. You can outgrow anyone if you commit to daily growth. You can outlast any obstacle if your mind stays strong. You can overcome anything life throws at you if you stay prepared. And preparation happens through learning, not in crisis, but before it. Not when you're desperate, but when you're ready. Most people underestimate how fast their life could change if they just committed to improving themselves a little each day. But you can't fake growth. You have to earn it. And the way you earn it is by showing up every single day and doing something, anything that makes you better than yesterday. You don't need a massive transformation overnight. You just need steady elevation, compound growth, quiet progress, and that only happens when you decide to prioritize your development above everything else. So, make the choice. Invest in your learning like it's your only job. Sharpen your mind like it's your most important weapon. Treat your time like it's your most valuable currency. Because the truth is, it is. And one day you'll either regret the time you wasted, or you'll thank yourself for every book, every hour, every quiet moment you gave to becoming the strongest version of yourself. The outcome is yours to decide, but it all starts with the choice you make today. Learn, grow, repeat every day, no matter what. Chapter 7. Let go of distractions and sharpen your focus daily. In a world filled with constant noise, distractions are everywhere. Social media notifications, phone calls, endless emails, and the constant pressure of multitasking create an environment where staying focused feels almost impossible. Yet, one of the most valuable skills you can develop in this chaotic world is the ability to silence those distractions and sharpen your focus every single day. The ability to focus is not something that comes naturally to everyone. And in fact, it requires consistent effort and practice. But it's this very focus that allows you to make meaningful progress in your life, to reach goals that seem far out of reach, and to build a future that reflects your potential. Without it, you're simply drifting through life, reacting to whatever comes your way, never truly controlling your own destiny. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of distractions. The demands of modern life can overwhelm you if you let them. Every day we face countless things trying to steal our attention, whether it's a ping from a social media app, a new email in our inbox, or even people in our lives who unknowingly draw us into their drama. This constant barrage of distractions weakens our ability to focus on what really matters, the tasks, goals, and projects that will propel us forward in life. The first step toward mastering your focus is recognizing just how much time you waste each day on these distractions. Think about it. How often do you check your phone for no reason? How many hours do you spend mindlessly scrolling through social media, only to realize you've wasted an entire evening? How many distractions do you entertain when you should be working, studying, or improving yourself? Every time you allow your attention to be hijacked by these distractions, you give away a little piece of your power. And this happens not only with big distractions, but even with small ones. The casual conversations, the minor interruptions, the moments you let your mind wander. All of these prevent you from staying laser-focused on the things that truly matter. To break free from these distractions, you need to make a conscious effort every single day to guard your time and energy. This is not something you can accomplish once and be done with. It requires daily commitment, a willingness to prioritize your goals over momentary pleasures, and a deep understanding that every minute spent on something irrelevant is a minute you'll never get back. In other words, focus isn't just a skill, it's a lifestyle. Start by identifying the biggest distractions in your life. Is it your phone, the people around you, your thoughts? Maybe it's the constant flow of information that you feel compelled to consume every day. Once you identify these distractions, you can take steps to reduce or eliminate them. For example, you could turn off notifications for non-essential apps. You could schedule specific times for checking emails or social media, ensuring that these activities don't bleed into the rest of your day. You could set clear boundaries with the people around you, letting them know when you need uninterrupted time to focus on your work or personal growth. The point is, you must take control of your environment and make it work for you, not against you. Next, begin the practice of intentional focus. This doesn't mean forcing yourself to work endlessly without rest, or allowing yourself to be consumed by a single task until it's done. It means learning how to direct your attention toward what matters most at the moment without being pulled away by distractions. One powerful method for improving your focus is the Pomodoro technique, which involves working for minutes followed by a 5-minute break. These short bursts of focused work allow your brain to stay sharp while preventing burnout. After completing 4 Pomodoros, you can take a longer break, usually about -minutes. This structured approach to work forces you to be intentional with your time and helps you maintain focus throughout the day. But it's not just about techniques. Focus is also a mental skill that requires you to strengthen your mind. The more you train your brain to stay on task, the better you'll get at tuning out distractions. Just like physical exercise builds muscle, mental exercises build focus. One of the best ways to strengthen your focus is through meditation. Even a few minutes of mindfulness practice each day can significantly improve your ability to concentrate, block out distractions, and stay present. Meditation teaches you how to sit with your thoughts without becoming consumed by them. Over time, you'll find that this translates into your work, allowing you to stay present and focused on the task at hand. Another strategy is to break down your goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. When faced with a large, overwhelming project, it's easy to become distracted by everything that needs to be done. By breaking it down into smaller, actionable steps, you make the task seem less daunting and easier to focus on. This also allows you to make progress in small increments, which helps build momentum and keeps you motivated. Focus thrives when you can make a task feel achievable. And the best way to do that is by setting clear, actionable goals that you can work on each day. Distractions are often a way for the brain to avoid discomfort. Your mind likes what's familiar, and when faced with something difficult or challenging, it seeks out distractions as a form of escape. The key to overcoming this is developing resilience. Resilience is the ability to push through discomfort and continue working even when things get tough. When you encounter challenges, it's easy to throw in the towel and look for something easier. But true focus is built in those moments when you're tempted to quit, when the task seems too difficult, or when the distractions seem more appealing. Instead of giving in, you must remind yourself of your higher purpose, your long-term goals, and the reason you started in the first place. The ability to push through discomfort is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Focus becomes easier when you develop the mental toughness to stay on track, regardless of the obstacles in your way. Another important aspect of focus is understanding your priorities. Without a clear understanding of what's most important to you, it's easy to get sidetracked by the small, insignificant things that don't move you forward. Prioritizing your goals helps you stay focused on what truly matters. One way to ensure that you're focusing on the right things is by regularly reviewing your goals and checking in on your progress. This helps you stay aligned with your vision and prevents you from getting lost in the chaos of daily life. Focus is also a habit, and like any habit, it takes time to develop. The more you practice focusing on one task at a time, the easier it becomes. It's a skill that gets stronger the more you use it. But in order to truly sharpen your focus, you must first eliminate the distractions that rob you of your time and energy. You can't expect to be productive if you're constantly pulled in different directions. In fact, the average person is interrupted every minute, and it can take up to minutes to regain focus after each interruption. This constant shifting of attention prevents you from making meaningful progress on your goals. But by learning to control your environment and practicing daily focus exercises, you can gradually eliminate the distractions that hinder your productivity. It's also important to remember that sharpening your focus isn't just about avoiding distractions. It's also about cultivating the right mindset. You need to believe that you can focus. You need to trust that you have the mental discipline to stay on task even when it's difficult. Your mindset will either enable or hinder your ability to concentrate. If you approach focus with the belief that it's hard or that you're not good at it, you'll find it even more difficult to stay focused. But if you approach it with confidence, knowing that focus is a skill you can develop, you'll be amazed at how quickly your ability to concentrate improves. At the end of the day, focus is a choice. It's not something that happens by accident. It's something you must actively pursue day after day. It requires you to be intentional with your time, to be aware of your habits, and to develop mental resilience in the face of discomfort. But the rewards of focus are immense. When you master the ability to focus, you become unstoppable. You stop wasting time on meaningless tasks, and you start making real progress toward your goals. You become more productive, more efficient, and more capable of achieving everything you set out to do. The key to living a successful life isn't in how many things you do. It's in how deeply you can focus on the few things that truly matter. Chapter: Surround yourself with people who elevate your potential. The people you surround yourself with have an immense impact on your growth and success. They shape your beliefs, your habits, your mindset, and even your identity. Every interaction, every conversation, and every shared moment influences the direction of your life. This is why it is crucial to intentionally surround yourself with people who elevate your potential. If you want to grow, you must position yourself within a circle of individuals who challenge you to become better, push you to aim higher, and inspire you to reach your fullest potential. Too often, we fall into the trap of staying in familiar environments, surrounded by individuals who are comfortable with where they are in life. These people might not intentionally hinder your progress, but their lack of ambition or their complacency can rub off on you. You find yourself caught in a cycle where everyone around you is content with mediocrity. And before long, you begin to settle for less than what you're capable of achieving. It's like a mirror reflecting your current state. And if the people around you are not striving for more, neither will you. Surrounding yourself with people who elevate your potential is about intentionally seeking out individuals who not only challenge you, but also support you in becoming the best version of yourself. These are people who believe in your vision and help you see the possibilities when you can't. They inspire you to dream bigger, work harder, and believe in your ability to accomplish great things. They hold you accountable for your actions and refuse to let you settle for mediocrity. They push you beyond your comfort zones, not out of malice, but out of genuine care and belief in your potential. One of the greatest benefits of surrounding yourself with individuals who elevate you is the energy they bring into your life. High achievers, positive thinkers, and driven individuals possess a certain energy that can be contagious. You can feel the momentum when you are around people who are passionate about their own goals and who inspire you to take action. This energy propels you forward and creates a sense of urgency and purpose in your own life. You start to realize that you don't have time to waste on distractions or self-doubt, because the people around you are showing you what's possible when you stay committed to growth. But it's not just about being around successful people. It's about surrounding yourself with individuals who share your values and have a growth-oriented mindset. Success without alignment with your core beliefs will only bring short-term satisfaction. You need to be surrounded by people who are genuinely interested in seeing you succeed, not for their own benefit, but because they believe in the importance of mutual growth. These are the types of people who help you stay grounded and aligned with your purpose, while pushing you to become the best version of yourself. You must be willing to evaluate the people in your life regularly. Are they helping you grow, or are they holding you back? Sometimes we hold on to relationships out of nostalgia or comfort. But if those relationships are not aligned with our personal growth, they can act as anchors that weigh us down. Ask yourself, are the people around me supporting my vision and pushing me toward my goals? If not, you may need to make some difficult decisions and distance yourself from those who aren't contributing to your personal and professional growth. When you surround yourself with individuals who elevate your potential, you begin to see opportunities that you might have overlooked on your own. You gain new perspectives, learn new skills, and develop a deeper understanding of what is possible for your life. These individuals will often provide insight into things you wouldn't have considered, offer solutions to problems you're facing, and challenge you to think bigger and bolder. Their perspectives broaden your own and force you to break free from the narrow mindset that might have been limiting your progress. At the same time, you need to be someone who also elevates others. Personal growth is not just about what you can gain from others. It's about how you can contribute to the growth of those around you. When you start lifting others, you also raise your own potential. Being part of a network of individuals who believe in mutual support creates an environment of abundance, not scarcity. The more you give to others, the more you receive in return. Whether that's in the form of new opportunities, support, or knowledge. When you help others rise, you create a network of positive energy that fuels your own success. Building a circle of individuals who elevate you is not something that happens overnight. It requires intention, effort, and sometimes stepping outside of your comfort zone. The first step is to be mindful of the types of people you're spending the most time with. Ask yourself if they're pushing you toward growth, or if they're contributing to your stagnation. Make sure you surround yourself with individuals who not only have similar goals and aspirations, but who also bring positive energy and a mindset of possibility. seek out mentors and role models who are where you want to be. These people will be invaluable resources as you work toward your own goals. They've already walked the path you're on and can provide guidance, advice, and support. The best mentors are those who genuinely care about your success, who are willing to share their experiences with you, and who challenge you to keep pushing forward when things get tough. Additionally, find peers who are equally committed to their own growth. These individuals are in the trenches with you, working toward their own aspirations. They are the ones who will hold you accountable, celebrate your victories, and support you during setbacks. They are not just spectators in your journey, they are active participants, and their success fuels your own. A strong peer group is essential for maintaining motivation and perseverance when the going gets tough. It's also important to recognize that the people you spend the most time with can influence your mindset. If you surround yourself with negative or toxic individuals, their pessimism and doubt can start to seep into your own thinking. You might find yourself second-guessing your goals, doubting your abilities, and questioning whether success is even possible for you. However, when you surround yourself with people who believe in you and encourage you, your mindset shifts. You begin to see obstacles as opportunities and challenges as stepping stones toward growth. Positive relationships can help you cultivate a mindset that is resilient, optimistic, and determined. In this process of building a supportive network, remember to also set boundaries. While it's important to surround yourself with people who elevate you, it's equally important to protect your energy and mental space. Not everyone you meet will align with your values or contribute positively to your growth. And that's okay. It's important to know when to say no, when to distance yourself from negative influences, and when to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you. The key is to find people who not only align with your vision, but who also challenge you to be better. You need individuals who push you out of your comfort zone, who expect more from you than you sometimes expect from yourself. These people are not just there to agree with you. They are there to make you think, grow, and take action. They are the ones who will encourage you when you want to give up and help you keep moving forward even when the road seems uncertain. To truly elevate your potential, it is not enough to simply be around people who inspire you. You must also be willing to contribute to their growth. Success is not a zero-sum game. It's about creating an environment where everyone can thrive. When you give your time, energy, and support to those around you, you create a culture of growth and achievement that benefits everyone. In conclusion, the people you surround yourself with have the power to either propel you toward your goals or hold you back. To reach your fullest potential, you must choose to be around individuals who challenge, support, and inspire you. These are the people who will elevate you, help you push past your limitations, and open your eyes to what's possible. By intentionally building a network of individuals who are committed to growth and success, you create an environment that fosters opportunity, momentum, and achievement. The path to success is not a solitary one. It's one that is paved with the support, encouragement, and belief of those around you. Chapter 9. Hold yourself accountable to your goals and actions. When it comes to achieving meaningful success, one of the most important practices you can adopt is holding yourself accountable to your goals and actions. Accountability is not simply about checking off tasks on a to-do list. It is about taking full ownership of the journey you are on and refusing to let excuses or distractions steer you off course. Without accountability, goals become nothing more than wishes, and progress becomes stagnant. Accountability is the driving force behind forward movement, and it's the cornerstone that separates those who dream from those who do. Most people are excellent at setting goals, whether it's a New Year's resolution, a career milestone, or a personal achievement. We all have aspirations that we hope to achieve. But setting goals is only the beginning. The real challenge comes in consistently showing up, taking action, and holding ourselves accountable every single day. The act of holding yourself accountable means looking at your progress with a clear eye, accepting full responsibility for your actions, and not allowing anything, especially yourself, to stand in the way of reaching your full potential. One of the key aspects of accountability is being honest with yourself. This is where most people falter. It's easy to lie to yourself about why you missed a deadline or why you didn't hit your target. But that's a trap that only leads to self-deception and stagnation. Being accountable means confronting the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. If you didn't make progress today, the truth is that you didn't do what you said you were going to do. It's not anyone else's fault, and it's not because of some external circumstance. It's simply because you allowed something to get in the way of your commitment. Recognizing this without excuses is the first step toward real accountability. Accountability is not just about admitting when you've fallen short. It's about finding solutions and making adjustments. After all, no one is perfect. We all have setbacks, and we all encounter obstacles that make it difficult to stay on track. But the key is not to let those setbacks derail you. Instead, you must hold yourself accountable to overcoming them. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow. The real power lies in your ability to bounce back from those challenges, reassess your approach, and continue moving forward. One powerful way to hold yourself accountable is by setting clear and measurable goals. Vague or ambiguous goals do little to drive progress. You might tell yourself that you want to get in shape, but without specific targets like lose lbs in the next days or work out 5 times a week, it's easy to let those goals slip into the background. Having concrete, actionable and time-bound goals gives you something to focus on, and it provides a tangible measure of your success. You can track your progress, and at the end of the week, month or year, you'll be able to look back and see exactly what you've accomplished. But accountability is not just about measuring progress. It's about creating habits that support your goals every day. This is where many people falter. Goals are often abandoned because there is no daily structure or consistent effort to back them up. It's easy to get motivated when you're thinking about the big picture. But when the day-to-day grind sets in, it's easy to lose focus and get distracted. This is why creating daily habits is so crucial to accountability. These habits act as small commitments that you can keep every day, and over time they add up to massive progress. To build these habits, it's important to break down your larger goals into smaller, more manageable actions. If your goal is to write a book, for example, don't think about the entire process at once. Instead, commit to writing a certain number of words each day. Start small, but start consistently. By showing up every day and doing the work, you build momentum. You begin to see the progress you've made, and the sense of accomplishment becomes its own motivation to keep going. With each word written, you move closer to your goal. It's the same with any goal, whether it's losing weight, learning a new skill, or building a business. Accountability is about breaking your goal into smaller, actionable steps that you can accomplish on a daily basis. Accountability also requires a mindset of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between setting a goal and achieving it. It's what helps you push through when you don't feel like it, when the distractions are loud, and when you're tempted to put things off until tomorrow. Holding yourself accountable means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's about following through, even when the initial excitement of your goal starts to fade. Discipline is what keeps you on track and ensures that you're consistently making progress toward your vision. Another critical element of accountability is the ability to track your progress. When you're on a long-term journey, it's easy to lose sight of how far you've come. Tracking allows you to celebrate small wins and measure your growth along the way. Whether it's through journaling, tracking apps, or simply taking time at the end of each day to reflect on what you accomplished, tracking is a powerful tool for staying accountable. It shows you where you've excelled and where you need to improve, and more importantly, it keeps you focused on your goals and reminds you why you're putting in the effort in the first place. Accountability is also about setting yourself up for success by eliminating distractions. It's easy to get sidetracked by social media, TV, or other forms of entertainment. But when you commit to your goals, you must actively protect your time and energy. This means saying no to distractions and making the space in your life for the things that truly matter. Prioritize your time and aligning your daily activities with your larger goals. If you are constantly checking your phone or procrastinating with unimportant tasks, you're robbing yourself of the focus and discipline you need to move forward. In addition to removing distractions, it's essential to surround yourself with accountability partners. People who can help you stay on track and hold you to your commitments. Accountability partners provide the external support and motivation that can help you stay on target. They offer encouragement when you're struggling, remind you of your goals when you forget, and celebrate your wins when you reach milestones. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a coach, having someone to share your journey with makes the process of staying accountable far easier. However, accountability is not always about positive reinforcement. Sometimes you need tough love. This is where you need to become your own accountability partner. Be willing to call yourself out when you slip up, and don't let yourself off the hook when you make excuses. Take responsibility for your actions and don't wait for someone else to hold you accountable. The most successful people don't wait for others to tell them what they should be doing. They take full ownership of their progress and they push themselves relentlessly toward their goals. Ultimately, holding yourself accountable is about developing the mindset and habits that will enable you to consistently make progress, no matter how tough the journey may be. It's not about achieving perfection. No one is perfect, but it's about making a commitment to show up every day, take action, and keep moving forward, even when things don't go as planned. Accountability is a promise to yourself that you will not settle for anything less than your best effort. And when you consistently hold yourself accountable, you will find that you are capable of achieving far more than you ever thought possible. Chapter: Reflect on your progress to adjust and keep improving. Reflection is a powerful tool for growth and improvement. Many people go through life working hard day after day without ever taking the time to stop and reflect on their progress. It's easy to get caught up in the grind, always looking ahead to the next task or goal. But without reflection, there's no way to measure how far you've come, or to assess whether your efforts are truly aligned with your desired outcome. Reflecting on your progress isn't just about taking a moment to feel good about the hard work you've put in. It's about analyzing your journey so far, making adjustments, and continually striving for improvement. When you take time to reflect, you gain clarity. You see where you've succeeded and where you've struggled. You recognize patterns in your behavior and uncover areas where you can improve. Reflection is not about self-criticism or focusing on past mistakes. It's about using your experiences as valuable feedback to move forward with greater insight. The key is to ask yourself the right questions. What's working? What's not? What changes can I make to improve my approach? These questions guide you toward deeper self-awareness and empower you to adjust your path toward even greater success. One of the first steps in reflecting on your progress is to be honest with yourself. It's easy to overlook flaws or make excuses, but true growth only happens when you acknowledge the reality of your situation. Reflecting with honesty means looking at your actions, habits, and mindset without sugarcoating the truth. It's about taking responsibility for your choices, whether they've led to success or setbacks. When you confront the truth about where you are, you give yourself the power to change. Denial or avoidance may feel easier in the moment, but it only holds you back in the long run. Reflect with integrity, and you'll find the clarity you need to keep progressing. Regular reflection also helps you stay grounded and connected to your goals. As life moves forward, it's easy to get distracted by new opportunities or challenges. When you reflect consistently, you ensure that you don't lose sight of what matters most. You can assess whether you're still on track toward your goals or if adjustments are needed. Reflection is like a GPS for your life. It helps you check if you're heading in the right direction and recalibrate when necessary. Without this checkpoint, it's easy to drift off course, reacting to external circumstances instead of staying focused on your internal vision. Another important aspect of reflection is the ability to identify progress. Often we focus on what's still left to accomplish and overlook the distance we've already covered. It's essential to celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Each step forward is a victory, and acknowledging these wins fuels your motivation to keep going. Reflecting on your accomplishments helps you recognize the effort you've invested and the growth you've achieved. This recognition not only boosts your confidence, but it also strengthens your belief in your ability to keep moving forward. As you reflect on your progress, it's important to ask yourself how well your actions are aligning with your goals. Are you putting in the effort where it matters most? Are your daily choices moving you closer to the life you envision for yourself? Often we can become busy without being productive. We can fill our days with tasks and activities, but if those tasks aren't aligned with our larger goals, they are little more than distractions. Reflection allows you to see whether your time and energy are being directed toward the things that matter. If you find that your actions aren't aligned with your goals, this is the time to make a change. Reflection is the perfect opportunity to course, correct, and refocus your efforts. Moreover, reflection helps you embrace failure as a learning tool. Too often, people avoid reflecting on their mistakes because they associate failure with shame or defeat. But in reality, failure is an essential part of growth. Every setback provides valuable lessons. And when you reflect on these moments, you can extract the wisdom needed to prevent similar mistakes in the future. Reflection allows you to shift your perspective on failure and view it as a stepping stone to success, rather than an obstacle. The more you embrace failure as a learning experience, the more resilient you become. When you stop fearing failure and instead use it to fuel your growth, you become unstoppable. When reflecting on your progress, it's important to look beyond the surface level. Ask yourself deeper questions that challenge your assumptions and beliefs. Are there limiting mindsets or behaviors that are holding you back? What are your biggest obstacles, and how can you overcome them? Reflection isn't just about looking at the numbers or milestones. It's about understanding the bigger picture of your journey. This deeper reflection can uncover blind spots in your thinking or areas of your life where you've been unconsciously sabotaging your own progress. When you uncover these insights, you can take purposeful action to change them. In addition to self-reflection, seek feedback from others. Sometimes we're too close to our own situation to see it objectively. Asking for feedback from trusted friends, mentors, or colleagues can offer valuable perspectives. Others may see patterns or opportunities that we overlook. While it's important to trust your own instincts and judgments, incorporating external feedback can provide a more well-rounded view of your progress. Be open to constructive criticism and use it as a tool for growth rather than a source of defensiveness. Remember, the goal of reflection is improvement, and external feedback can be a powerful catalyst for that improvement. As you reflect, don't forget the importance of setting new goals and adjusting your strategies. Reflection is not only about looking back, it's also about moving forward with renewed focus and purpose. After assessing your progress, decide on the next steps. What do you want to achieve next? And how will you get there? Reflection provides you with the clarity and insights you need to adjust your goals, refine your approach, and continue growing. It's a cycle that never ends. Reflect, learn, adjust, and keep moving forward. With each cycle, you become better, more focused, and more aligned with your vision. Finally, remember that reflection is an ongoing process. You can't rely on just one reflection session to keep you on track. To maintain growth and progress, make reflection a regular habit. Take time at the end of each day, week, or month to evaluate where you are and where you're headed. Regular reflection keeps you mindful of your goals, helps you stay accountable, and ensures that you're continually improving. It's easy to lose sight of your direction in the hustle of daily life, but with consistent reflection, you can stay connected to your larger purpose and make steady progress toward your goals. Reflection is a powerful tool for growth. It allows you to assess your actions, learn from your experiences, and make adjustments to keep improving. Through honest self-evaluation, you can identify what's working, what needs to change, and how you can continue to move forward. By making reflection a regular part of your journey, you not only stay aligned with your goals, but also foster a mindset of continuous improvement. Growth is not a destination. It's a lifelong process. And reflection is the key to unlocking that process, ensuring that you are always evolving, always learning, and always moving closer to your best self.